IIFL Finance Management is joining us now. Their Q3 business momentum has been strong. There was a good growth in disbursals and AUM. Their asset quality has also improved. Kapish Jain, who is the President and Group CFO of IIFL Finance, joins us now to discuss more on their Q3 performance. Kapish, hi, good morning, and always nice speaking to you on CNBC TV18. I wanted to talk a little bit about business momentum, which is looking quite good, right? I mean, disbursal growth for you folks has been about 28% year on year. Tell us a little bit about what the last quarter could look like by the end of FY24 and also in the early part of FY25. What are we looking at in terms of an average disbursal growth?
So, Sonia, invariably, last quarter gets all the momentum from a business disbursement perspective. There are a lot of the cycle is with regard to events that you have, with regard to even program that you run from incentives as well. So last quarter generally gets a big momentum as well from a growth. We wouldn't be different. Even housing company, actually, if you see the trajectory over the years, it's always been like around a big number coming in the last quarter. So last quarter should give a better number as well on a similar scale that we have seen in the past. We will also be supported by the expansion that we have done. We have done a lot of branches expansion as well. In housing company, almost 2/3 of our branches came in the last 2 years. In MFI, we had 1/3 branches added in the last 12 to 18 months. All this addition of branches as well will support. Gold have stood fine with regard to gold price as well, with a double-digit growth this fiscal. So that will again help you in getting a loan growth which you're looking for across branches. And many of these branches
give us a number, Kapish. Can you give us a number, disbursal growth by the end of the year? What are you looking at? And specifically in gold loans, which has been doing very well for you, what is the kind of trajectory? What's the number for the full year and FY25?
So we grew at around 6% in the last this particular quarter. So we should be able to beat that number. It could be in a range of around 7-8% if you talk about just the gold business number. And overall should be at a similar range.
All right. Hi, Kapish. Got it. Kapish, I'm just looking at your AUM. It's around 77,000 crores approximately. Where is that number headed? And if I look at the digital loan, that's close to around 5% of your mix. Commands higher yields, I think so. So what's the target out there? Where does that number head to?
So the digital loan is at 5%. It will remain at a similar range. The growth is coming at a lower base. We have done some realignment in that business. We were offering business loan, personal loans. With the RBI new directive coming in, we are focusing more giving personal loan to our captive customers and focus more on building the business loans there as a market grows. And we also added a supply chain element there as well. So the business mix would be business loan and supply chain and a personal loan to maybe our captive customers that we have across all our businesses. The growth there would be at the mix of that business would be at a similar range. They're selling at around 5%. They would be in the 5 to 6% range. The growth is only coming with a lower base that you see.
Okay, the cost of borrowing was around 9.1% for the past quarter. How does that number move and what does it mean in terms of NIMs? So you give us the figure on cost of borrowing. What does it translate to in terms of NIMs? And the previous question on AUM, where does it head to? Say in the next 2-year target, if you had to put a number out.
In the next, so I'll give you a relative comparison. Over the last 5 years, we grew at a CAGR of around 23%, right? We have seen a lot of these elements with regard to COVID, and we had some liquidity crisis coming in earlier as well, led by the issue that we had in the sector. In spite of that, we've been able to grow at that 23%. We have grown faster this particular fiscal so far, but then there could be blips which can come into the market. We really don't know. And with the uncertainties that can come in, you would still need to make yourself conservative from a growth trajectory. So our guidance to the market is that we will grow at a CAGR of around 25%, led by the branch expansion that we have done. So we're not changing that guidance, and the mix would relatively be where it is today. With regard to your question on cost of borrowing, should I continue? Yeah.
Yes, please. Cost of borrowing and NIMs.
Yeah. So our cost of borrowing actually has held well. It's grown by around 28 basis points over the last 12 months. Few elements that helped us there is we've been able to improve our credit profile from our lenders. We've expanded our borrowing and gone into overseas market as well and raised funds through ECBs and also through MFIs as well. Multilateral agencies as well who have given us money. That has helped us in holding our cost of borrowing. Other avenue that comes in now is just recently, last month, we got an outlook change on our rating. We moved from a AA stable to a AA positive from leading rating agencies CRISIL. We had a similar rating that we got from India rating of AA's with a positive outlook. As you move on the rating scale, we should be able to then expand our borrowing basket further, be it for the pension funds, and maybe when the dollar market improves, we're going to get funds from dollar market as well. We have really not leveraged the short-term borrowings. Our short-term borrowing is almost close to zero. without any undue risk, without impacting your LCRs, there's avenue of opportunity to raise funds through short-term window as well from capital market. As you move up on the rating scale, you should get to monetize more of that borrowing as well, which will normalize your borrowings if in case any further impact comes from borrowing rate coming up. So we don't think that the borrowing will move up too significantly. As and when the cycle turns back, you should get benefit of an incremental borrowing coming at a lower rate as well. So therefore, the cost of borrowing should remain at a similar level. There could be 10, 15 basis point here and there. Otherwise, if you see on the yield side, on the yield as well, we've been able to hold our yield well. On the gold finance, if you see, our yield have moved up around 1.5% over 12 to 18 months. That has primarily happened because we have expanded into those markets which are relatively less competitive. And with that, you're able to then better price your assets from your customers. And because we've gone into almost like 84% of our branches are in the non-metro locations. There, you're able to then monetize a better yield for your businesses. So,
got it. Yeah. All right. Kapish, thank you very much for joining us. Very exhaustive, very well explained. Wish we could go on a little longer, but just a very busy morning with everything which is happening with markets. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for being here on CNBC TV 18. As always, first up after the earnings.